Alright, good afternoon, or actually good evening. We've had a couple hiccups working on this thing. I don't know if you can see it or not, you probably can't, but let's take this and move it. See the, yep. Okay, here's the big problem. We don't have the fittings for the master cylinder. So, what we've done is we've run lines approximately where we're going to need them. Okay, over here you can see the lines, and we're getting some fittings in. They're going to come from are coming from Speedway Motors. They're the only ones that make the fittings that where's the master cylinder? Hold up the master cylinder, Kevin. Okay, now turn it so we see. One of these fittings is ½ inch, and the other one is 9/16. But we need 3/16 lines to come out of it and go over here to the Wildwood adjustable brake booster. We couldn't find them anywhere. The only place we could get them was Speedway Motors. It's very hard to find them, but we did find them, and now we're going to figure out how to set this up. We want to set this up where it's adjustable with the body on and the hood open. That's the we also want to do, where's that other one? Do you know where did I put the, that one? Give me the fuel regulator. Okay. Now, here's the fuel regulator we'll be using. You'll notice it has a JEGS. This is where we get it from. It has a JEGS fuel pressure needle on it, and it's on the outside one. This is your adjustment right here, and down here is where the fuel line is going to come in from the chassis. We're going to put this on the probably right around there, so that it can be adjusted while the engine is running. I have taken the double pumper lead right here on the carburetor, if you can see that. Double pumper lead is reversed so that it goes backwards, because we're going to have the fuel pressure regulator on the firewall of the front cockpit liner. That's all well and good so far. Here is, we'll be shortening this line. This is our stainless steel line. I know how to take these apart. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to make sure it's nice and neat, and we're going to put we're going to shorten it to fit. Now, let me get around to the other side. Now, you're going to see the ugliest thing in the world, which is a fat marine in shorts. Okay, straight down, right here. Straight down is where the fuel line comes straight up. It's going to come up. It's going to loop over here. We're going to have a spot on it for the firewall. That will allow us to regulate the fuel pressure. I need the tank. And let me get the tank. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to show you where the tank's going to go. But, just so you know, I'm not taking this piece of work off yet anymore. So we're going to put the tank roughly about here. Okay? We're going to center it that way. When this is going to be our burp spot. You'll notice it has one of these pressure release valves. It has a radiator cap. We have a thing here. I have almost all of the kickdown cables and the throttle cable done. We just have to start hooking them up inside the body. But that's where we're at with that, which is a very exciting thing. Kevin, I had a little bit of an incident today. I was not feeling well because today is a torsamide day, and torsamide days are when I feel the worst. because organ is a very heavy diuretic. Let me switch this around. Pay no attention to the hand. Okay. Now this is what you get for free, by the way. And this is a free channel, and so we got the body on. We got the plate for the master cylinder on. We're going to be putting the, Kevin's going to be painting the, painting the pedal cluster. We're going to get it ready for installation. I, being the insane lunatic I am, I'm going to cut the firewall bearing. This is the firewall bearing for the steering column. I'm going to cut it. We're going to clean it up. We're going to mount it, and then we're going to, we're going to paint it, and then we're going to mount it. And it's going to go roughly right there. Then we can run the. We're going to paint the steering column support, or the cowl support, which is the hinge support. We're going to paint that today and make sure it's ready to go on the car. Then we're going to put it in. We have 3/8 by 3.5 bolts, or 3/8 by 3 and what? 3/8 by 3.5 bolts we're going to be using to do it. We're going to put them in. We're going to have them loose. The reason we're going to have them loose is so we can jockey the front cockpit liner around while we put on the body. Now, because it's me and Kevin, it's going to be a little hard to put the body on. I'll probably make some sort of attachment to put it on, hook it up to my tractor, which is nearby, of course, and I'm going to hook up something to the forks, lift the body with the forks, bring it out, drop the body on. The other possibility is we're going to throw the wheels on and roll the chassis underneath the body, put the body down on the chassis, and then, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to a point where all this stuff is on and stays on. It's not coming off. How did you, okay. And so what we're working towards today and tomorrow is getting this on. Now, because we had to order these fittings from Speedway, we're not getting them to Tuesday, which is just before Kevin heads back to Minnesota. Wisconsin. Sorry, I always get those two confused. I know where Iraq is, I know where Iran is, I know where Japan is, I know where the Philippines is, but I don't know the difference between Minnesota and Wisconsin. I'm going to get my ass chewed later on about that by Kevin. But, so, what do we have to do? Well, I have a list behind you. You can't see it, but I can. This is what Kevin has purchased for the lower control arm, or the lower radiator hose. And we're going to put that on today. And the reason we're going to put it on today because it's nice and cool outside now as compared to 94 when it was earlier. And we're going to put it on the lower radiator. We're going to mock that up. We're going to make sure it is secure. And we're going to do that before we put the car back on the ground and put the body on the car. That's one of the things we have to do. We also want to make sure that the engine and everything is covered so that we start to do it. Now, as we're going along, okay, this is the fun part. This aluminum plate that we have on here as a heat shield between the forward cockpit liner and the headers, which are still in place. We're going to rivet that on. And I'm going to go and mark the rivets, and I'll drill. I have an industrial strength rivet gun. I'm going to secure that to that, and we'll make sure that's done. We're not pulling off the headers until we get the master cylinder and the brakes secure. And the reason we're doing that is we have to make sure we know exactly where the headers are while we do this, because we don't want to have to adjustable brake proportioning valve because it's too close to the header and the plate. So we have decided to move it up here on this section of the forward cockpit liner, and Kevin's going to pass me it. Kevin came up with this idea, and I agree with it. Okay, now we're going to do it like this. I might even get real fancy, and I'll put some spacers in there so that it does. Now, having it above, okay, having it above the power, the master cylinder is going to be a little bit problematic. I don't care. Okay, we're going to figure this out one way or the other, and we're going to make sure that it works the way it's supposed to. We don't like. I typically would prefer to have this somewhere down on the bottom of the chassis, sticking up through the floor. But we're not going to do that because we want all three of we want all of our adjustments: the fuel, the brakes, and the puke tank, where we can all get to them, and then we want them as high on the firewall as we can get them. Now, we also have to put in, behind the firewall, we're going to put in a piece of wood. We're going to fiberglass a piece of wood in behind the firewall because that's where we're going to put all our electronic shit, or the electronic stuff. We don't want it on the engine compartment. We want it out of the engine compartment. And that's where we're going to want the fuse panel. We're going to want the MSD box. We're going to want to have it on there. We're also going to have a heater in this car because Kevin's from
Wisconsin.
That's right. We want to have a heater in this. So we have planned for a heater on this. It's one of the few cars we've ever built, other than that I've ever built, that ever had, few Cobras that ever had a heater. When you're in Miami, you don't need a heater, but when you're in
Wisconsin,
you need a heater. And we're going to make sure that happens. So, excited so far, right? So, we got the front cockpit liner in place. It's not secure. We're going to secure it once we have the body on. We're going to secure it down to the, we're going to jiggle the body round and round. We're going to do the shaky, shaky, shimmy, shimmy to make sure that all four wheels are properly aligned. The body is properly aligned with the frame. And then we're going to start securing the body and the floor, the front cockpit liner to the chassis. And once we get all that done, then we are, if we can, and if we have time, we are going to do something with the doors. What are we going to do with the doors, you ask? Well, Kevin has his hinges, and they are freshly painted. And, well, they're freshly painted on one side, trust me on that. Kevin has not got to the other side. We're going to paint these, and we're going to mount these to the front cockpit support right here, and we're going to hang the doors. Now, Kevin's getting a little something different on his doors. We're not using the MGB TD or MGB door handles. We are going to use 1965, 1966 Mustang Pony interior door handles. Why are you using Pony, Mike? We're using Pony because they have a little bit longer shaft on the door release mechanism. Okay, that's why we're going to use that. That way, it allows Kevin to add the door panels, because we don't have the original door panels. We're going to actually cover them in vinyl and secure them with the push fasteners. And we're going to have enough room so we can have the escutcheons, the Pony escutcheons, and the Pony door handles from a 66 Mustang, because that's the way we swing. We do things that we feel make this car look better, and we're going to do that. I don't know if we'll get to it this week, but we're going to try to get to the point where the body is secure enough, front, back, so that we can get those parts, or get the doors on, get the hood on, get the trunk on, because that's what we're shooting for. Might not happen. I'm gonna be square with you guys. We've had a bunch of hiccups. kickdown, huge hiccup, assembled incorrectly from the people who made it, where the mounting tab that goes to the transmission was flipped over and inside out. So I had to take the whole entire system apart, the cables and all that, and set it up so that it worked. It's fixed now. Same problem with this. This is the this is the throttle cable, fully assembled. The problem with it being fully assembled is that these have to go through fiberglass, and when it's fully assembled, you can't disassemble this. So to fix that problem, I cut one end off. Okay? And the reason we cut one end off is so that I can attach it later on with a ring terminal and some solder, so that the throttle works the way it's supposed to. We have a throttle pedal, and I'm going to show you that right now because it's right here with me. There's a throttle pedal. Nice chrome one. We're going to put this on after we have the steering column support in, and we have the steering column on, and we have the firewall bushing on, because all of these three things have, and the pedal cluster, all of these things are going to affect the placement of this pedal. So we're going to do that practically last, just so you know. Now, what we have to, we're going to actually work tonight. I have the lights on inside the shop, and we have the fan, which is off right now. We'll be turning it on. We had it, Kevin had it off while he was painting, so he wouldn't get overspray on the fresh gel-coated car that he's going to have painted. Okay, but we're going to do that. I also have to run wires from the park and neutral switch on the regulator. Not a big problem. I crawl underneath there. I'll fix that. Or real quick, we'll just lift this thing up high enough where I can get to them and then run the wires. The other one, when we do the reverse light switch, I draw underneath the car, I put it into place, it attaches to the transmission pan and is adjusted with the linkage on that comes out the side of the transmission. That's done. We have the steering, or not the steering, but the speedo cable. We ordered one today. The original speedo cable was damaged, and it's not a problem. We're going to take care of that. Here, let me show it. This one is about 60. This is 60 inches long. The one we're getting 63 inches long, and that little extra 3 inches is going to be nice for us. Now the problem we had with this is there's no clamp mechanism on this cable. It has departed the aircraft, as we used to say, sometime in flight. So we're getting one with the new attachment there so that I can secure it into the transmission. Of course, this gear is going to be used. I have no clue what this gear goes, so I can find out. These are marked with the number of teeth, and the reason they're marked with the number of teeth is so that you can go higher or lower as needed, so that you know which gear works with this rear end. I don't know if this gear is going to work with this rear end, but we'll find out. At least Kevin will find out when we test drive it, but we're not there yet. So, all things considered, oh, wait. Here's our oil cooler. We're going to put the oil cooler on the inside of the passenger side bumper frame tube in front of the radiator. We're going to put it in this position right here. And you better be careful. It probably has oil in it.
Bring it up, we'll show.
Okay. So we're going to go roughly right here, and That way, it's just a straight shot straight down to change the oil cup. Now, it means these are the two upper ones. We're going to have to run this one of these up to here, and the other one runs around to the back. And anyway, trust me, it'll be done. Oil cooler adapter to oil filter to oil cooler to oil fill adapter. That's our routing plan. We're trying to get as much space around the radiator, and particularly around our fan, so there is no issue of rubbing our blade hits. We don't want blade hits on anything. So we're running it in a way that it'll clear all of these things. With that, we're pretty much, I'm done explaining things for today. And I can't tell, I have to look at the computer to tell what time it is. But I think we've accomplished a great deal today. We've had a lot of headaches. We fixed a lot of headaches. I won't even, every place where we could have had bolts was filled with mud dauber nest. We had to clean out all those bolts. Also had to clean out the transmission lines and a couple other lines. The fuel line that had mud dauber nests in them. So we've cleaned up all the lines. We actually coiled up some welding wire and hooked it into a drill. We just went right through it and cleaned it out like you would clean out a pecker with gonorrhea. Okay, but it's fixed now, and they're nice and clean, and they should flow like nobody's business. And but other than that, everything is fine. And with that, I'm gonna walk over here. Yes, I'm wearing shorts. It's that hot, and I'm going to do this. And with that, this is Mike over and out. Oh, let me rephrase that. This is Kevin and Mike over and out.